I am calling to order the Scarborough Board of Education meeting of Thursday, July 18th. Welcome. Mr. Grogan, would you please call a roll?
Yes. Yes. Mr. Kelleher,
Here.
Miss Leong,
Here.
Miss Peterson,
Here.
Mr. Pini,
Here.
sorry, Mr. Pinion,
Here.
With that, would you all join me for the, oh, sorry.
sorry, Miss Lindstrom,
Ms. Lindstrom has been excused tonight. Now will you all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item on the agenda 4.0 is approval of the June 27, 2024 workshop and business meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the meetings of June 27th of the workshop or the meeting? All right, seeing none, without objection, I'll approve the meetings minutes of June 27th. Moving to item 5.0 or adjustments to the agenda. Dr. Nadeau, are there any adjustments to the agenda tonight?
There are none.
Excellent. Moving to item 6.0 of the agenda. It is the superintendent's report.
Great. Broken a minute to pull up the slide deck. And we have actually a lot of great news to share with you this evening, even though it's summer and people are wondering, gee, school is out and we must be all set. There are a lot of excellent things that are happening. First off, I want to start off with a huge congratulations to Coach Denise Curry. You may remember seeing her at the last meeting when she talked about the girls track program. She has been named the 2024 Girls High School Track and Field Coach of the Year for the state of Maine by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. So it's a national recognition. So we're really excited. I actually sent her an email to congratulate her, and she didn't know that she had received the award. So it was a really exciting interchange that we had. But again, I think Denise is a great example of the really committed coaches that we have here in our district. She coaches cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. And I think in the few years that she has served in this role, the girls have really excelled. So that is great news for us. Also, we have a lot of things happening at the school. The Elementary Summer Reading Academy and the High School Credit Recovery Program both began on July 8th. Those are running through the month of July. We have about 50 students attending summer reading this summer. And then for those staff who are teaching in the summer academy, they also get professional development the first hour of the day. So they work collectively as adults. And so it's great that our students and our staff are each benefiting from that program. Middle school, their summer program, the Connections Academy, will be happening in mid-August. And there are over 60 students already registered for that. So all exciting. Our curriculum teams have been meeting this summer. We have teams that have been working on social emotional learning initiatives as part of our implementation. We have had teams reviewing curriculum in a variety of areas, including social studies, work at different phase levels. And there's also been a lot of professional development on the interdisciplinary outdoor learning work that is happening at the middle school through the Molly Grant. I believe we actually had a Facebook post about that this week. And so exciting to see staff coming together towards that effort. We also have over 90 students participating in extended school year services through our special services program this year. We're running 2 functional life skills programs, 2 academic life skills programs, a social life skills program, resource room programs, supporting kids in reading, writing, and math. And then students are also getting related services as written in their IEPs. And ESY happens Monday through Thursday. It started on July 1st and it will go through August 8th. So that's really exciting. We also have several groups within the special services department specifically engaged in curriculum development this summer. They're working on a common curriculum for the functional life skills program, K-5. They are developing differentiated curriculum in regards to inclusion. And they're also developing resources for staff on the use of assistive technology and the potential that assistive technology has for greater inclusion for our students. And then we have been super engaged here at central office. As you may know, the state reopened their capital school construction program. And so as I had talked with the building committee this spring, I had shared with them once that was open that we would be renewing our applications for each of the 4 schools, the 3 K2 schools and the middle school. And so we have been working really diligently on that. It was kind of billed by the state as a, you just need to update and send it on over. And we're finding that there's a lot more work that's involved than that. So we are spending countless hours and that really includes, today I'll give you an example. We sat in the conference room and worked for like 5.5 hours and met with 3 out of the 4 building principals on their applications. And Todd and Kate are involved in that work. Ray is onboarding and learning a lot about the status of our schools as a result of that. And so those applications are actually going to come to you next month because the board does have to vote for us to be able to submit the application. There's a place on the application that I need to document the date that it was brought to the board and the results of the vote. So you will be seeing all 4 of those applications at next month's meeting in August because we will need your approval before sending those off to meet the August 30th deadline. Again, it's we know how we ranked in the last round. And the assumption is that the same schools are going to be updating their applications minus those who got state funding last round or found local ways. But I think, we need to do our due diligence and, look under every rock possible. So we're getting that done. And then finally, just today, we found out that our primary principals have been selected to participate in an early learning fellowship cohort through the DOE. That was an opportunity that they applied for collectively as 3 building principals. And they're going to be learning alongside peers from across the state throughout this upcoming school year to further their understanding of what do high quality pre-K to 3rd grade programs look like and what are approaches that promote diverse, equitable, and inclusive practices. So we're really excited about that. I think that also provides an opportunity, as we launch off into our pre-K pilot this year. So things are looking up. Lots going on.
All right, moving to agenda item 7.0 is the chair report. I should have put an airplane emoji on the screen because our chair is obviously not here, but she left me with lots of notes to share with you all, so I will do that faithfully. Um, The first piece of information are the committee assignments that she just created and sent out to the board. So I'm going to read them so the public can be aware of the changes. I'm going to note Shannon has put herself on some of the boards temporarily until we have our new member seated in November. So I'll note that when that comes up. But the finance committee will be chaired by Jenna Leong. Other members would be me and Elisa. The policy committee will be chaired by me, Freyla Tarpinian, and the other members will be Shannon and Jillian. The long range planning committee will be chaired by Alyssa Peterson and other members, John. Shannon is going to be a placeholder until the new board member is seated. Negotiations committee, I'm going to chair that committee and other members are John and Shannon until the new board member is seated. Don't let that dissuade you from running, please. Outreach. Our outreach and communications task team is chaired by Jillian Trapani Huff. Other members will include Jenna Leong and Shannon as a placeholder for the new board member. The curriculum committee will be chaired by Jenna Leong. Other members will be John and Shannon again is going to be a placeholder for the new board member. The building committee members are going to be Elisa Peterson, Jillian, and Shannon. The DEI committee will be myself and Jillian again. And then liaison roles will be I'll be the legislative liaison. Jenna will be the vocational. Jenna will be the teacher evaluation. Shannon is going to be on the district emergency management team, and John, you're going to be on the pre-K task force team. I'm almost done, I promise. I know you've been waiting for that one. Jenna is going to be on the dropout prevention team, the comprehensive needs assessment planning team. That will be you, John. And you'll also be on transportation and bus safety. You did a great job last year.
I did.
Yes, you did. Jillian's going to be our liaison for the town council, and Shannon will be on the ad hoc community center. All of these committee assignments will be on the website in case you didn't catch that and you want to review. Have any questions or concerns? The other pieces of the chair's report that Shannon wanted me to share with you today is that our next two workshops, on August 15th is our upcoming workshop at 5:30. That's going to be an in-person meeting only, and it's going to be a new board member orientation. In September, our workshop is tentatively scheduled for September 19th. I know Alyssa cannot wait. She got lots of information. It'll be good for all of us. But September, the workshop's tentatively scheduled for September 19th at 4:30. Depending on schedules, but that's the plan right now. This is going to be a goal setting workshop and will be in person only. At this point, the board takes out the goals that are on the website and reviews them and updates them as necessary. Again, Shannon wanted to remind you all that the Maine School Management Association's fall conference is scheduled for October 24th and 25th. Typically that's up in Augusta. If you're interested in attending, please let Shannon and Cheryl know and they'll help you get registered for that. And other than that, that's all she had for me. Hopefully she approves of her report. All right. That's right, it is too late. All right, moving to the committee reports, that's agenda item 8.0. We're gonna kick it off with the Communications Committee.
Yep, so that would be me. Our last meeting was on June 13th. We met with SBEC Communications, the SBEC Communications team. I think we had a really good discussion with lots of ideas of how to get information out to everyone. And I think SBEC is doing a lot of great work over the summer to get everybody aware of what's coming. And we're also just now preparing for the next school year. So we have not determined the next meeting yet, but you will know when we figure that out.
Thank
Yeah,
you. And I'm
thank
moving to
you.
curriculum. I think that's still you.
That is still me. Yep. Our last meeting in June was canceled. It was canceled because we did not have a quorum since Carolyn was no longer with us. It was just me on the committee, so we had to cancel. The next meeting is to be determined.
Do you want to head right into finance as well?
What do I have to say about finance? Our budget passed. What else? You want to add anything else, Frayla?
I was gonna say, it's budget season's over, so we can.
Yeah.
couple
We're
months.
budget season is right around the corner again for us, so we're gonna enjoy this break for a little bit while we can.
Awesome. All right, so headed into Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, our last meeting on June 11th, which was not particularly well attended because it overlapped with a lot of other things. But at that meeting, the agenda is available and I was able to review the notes pretty thoroughly, and they reviewed the community forum that was had, just sort of did a postmortem on that to see what improvements could be made. They had some great ideas about another community gathering that they want to host, so they got very excited about hosting community events. And they prepared the report that was delivered at our last meeting on June 27th, which will come up later. The next meeting, the DEI committee broke for the summer, so they are not meeting over the summer, given their experience with low attendance in the last few years. So the next meeting is set for Tuesday, September 10th, from 6 to 7:30. Members and the agenda and the location will be updated if it changes. There's membership subcommittee work that's going to continue over the summer, having to do with leadership in that committee and trying to seat more members. So if anyone's interested in joining that committee, please reach out. We would love to have you. I'm going to keep going into negotiations. I'm going to keep it brief. Negotiations, communications are ongoing. We have one contract that was ratified at the last board meeting. We have one contract that's in process and one contract that's about to get underway, but I think good progress is being made all around. Moving to the policy committee meeting, we were unable to meet in June, so this looks a lot like our last update. Our next meeting is July 25th at 4 p.m. We're going to talk about continuing to work on facilities naming, which we've had some traction and communication with town council about. Then there's the student transportation services, and then the use of cellular technology, which I know all the board members have received a lot of communication about. And then we'll continue moving through the B policies that need to be updated. With that, how about the building committee?
All right, so there was a presentation of the report on June 27th, and of course, as you know, it was approved by the board. The town council actually voted on it last night and they approved the recommendation. The communications subcommittee is continuing to work through the summer at multiple events. They're actually down at this concert that we can hear behind us right now. Just trying to engage with people. We have a real awesome, dedicated group of people who are just amazing and staffing all of these events. They got a banner made. They really are putting their hearts into it. So that's really awesome. They'll be meeting with the communications subcommittee again. We will continue to support them until the next phase. And then, of course, this is really more board level, but we're going to be developing phase 2. So they're on hold until we make those decisions. I think that's it.
All right. Agenda item 9.0 are liaison reports. Is there anyone with a liaison report this evening?
I have one. I talked to Don Cushing, who is the liaison for the council to us. So basically, he had a bunch of stuff that isn't necessarily not of interest to the board, but doesn't directly affect our work. But they are having a land bond second reading, and that will be possibly on the ballot in November. I think it's an interesting thing for us to think about as we position ourselves in regards to a school. There will also be a fire truck bond and I believe a bond for body cameras on police officers, which seems like a relatively small bond. But anyway, those are up in November. Interesting to hear about for sure. But most important, they are looking to streamline their finance process. So their budget review process. I know there was a lot of talk about it in this last year. This last cycle, there were a lot of hiccups in our process or with them. And so not our process, but whatever, the melding with them. And so they're looking to really streamline that and work with us on that as well. So I'm sure you are aware of that, but that's their goal for this year, and they are starting to work on that now.
That's fantastical.
I I think that's it.
Is there any other liaison reports? All right, I'm moving to item number 10.0, general public comment. I see nobody here because they're all enjoying the Motor Booty concert that's going on next to us. Is there anyone online? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. So seeing none, I'm going to close general public comment and we're going to move to item 11.0, which is continuing business. Item 11.1 is a motion to approve the DEI committee's recommendations as presented on June 27th of 2024. Erin, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, as part of discussion, part of the packet, I'm going to read the recommendations and then I have a note from Shannon to open discussion. So the recommendations that were made at the last meeting included: 1, budget for a district level DEI coordinator to accelerate and lead ongoing work. And then there was a sub caret under that that said, what would sharing this position look like intra-district? Another caret that said, continue to provide professional development opportunities for all staff. A third caret that said, improve access to SPS information in a variety of languages. Fourth caret that said, review available SPS data with an equity lens. Fifth caret was creation of a system of sharing DEI concerns, celebrations, and systems. And the last one was continued support and development of equity teams. Shannon has some concerns about a couple of these items that she wanted to be part of our discussion. And here we go. She had a concern about the recommendation to create a system to share DEI concerns. She does not currently support that recommendation and would like to see it removed from this if we were going to vote on it tonight. The reason is that she's concerned that the district would be involved with, this would involve student and or staff information, that it might violate or would violate our board policies and district procedures and would be wholly inappropriate. Any concern she believes should be shared with the appropriate building leadership team, who then initiates a proper protocol. Those are per our policies. Sharing these concerns with the committee made up of community member volunteers violates not only our policies and procedures, but may allow sensitive, confidential information to be shared in a way that is not intended. The other concern that she raised, or really it was a question, is that for the DEI coordinator position, she would like to know more about it. We have not currently budgeted for this year, so it's not something that could be approved in the current time, which gives time for a more robust recommendation, which could potentially be a recommendation for an expanded role or something similar. And her reasoning behind that was that Scarborough has unique circumstances at play in this situation. She's not sure the committee has fully addressed that. And she wonders if the position could be a person to focus on that. And for example, she said, we have a high number of students and families with special needs. We have economic divisions. We have a lot of new English speakers in Scarborough. And she is really invested in making sure the environment is welcoming and safe for all students. And she doesn't want to make sure that everybody who is kind of a stakeholder in that conversation weighs in to that position to make sure that it does what it's intended to do. So those were Shannon's thoughts. And with that, is there any other discussion?
Yeah, this line about improving access to SPS information in a variety of languages, first of all, I want to say that I fully support that. I feel like that holds in, but my wonder is, does that involve like the purchase of programs, or is that something that is under the purview of this board? It feels to me like the district has made huge strides in those areas in this last year. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that we should continue that. But I don't know. I don't know if what this bullet item in particular means, like what exactly do they want? And, I've been in those meetings. We've talked about it a little. I think that just a little fine tuning that we could support in these meetings for that would be really useful. Like, what exactly are they looking for? And if they're looking for something beyond what we are already working on, what exactly does that look like? And could they provide some of the research that would support that? And then I also believe we are reviewing SPS data with an equity lens as well. And so I'm curious what additionally, what additional things that would be beneficial. And I think that these are like drawn up with a really great intention and really thoughtful process, but I don't think that it's really clear for anybody reading it what exactly they're looking for in that regard. But I also think that we do that a lot. We do it when we look at our policies. We do it when we look at our curriculum. These things are happening, and that's wonderful. And I'm wondering if they are looking for that to continue or something different to happen. And I did also share a concern with the creation of a system. So, which Shannon mentioned, I feel like that was well stated. So that's it. Not to, I don't want to come across as like denigrating this at all. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to understand or ask for a little more clarity.
One thing I had spent a little bit more time thinking about and wanting more information about was specifically the DEI coordinator. Just kind of what that looks like. I actually really liked the idea of potentially doing an inter-district, kind of understanding what, I think many different school systems do things really strongly and we can really learn from each other. And kind of incorporating kind of those around us and what people are doing well. But what that would look like, or, is it a full-time position, part-time position? Is it a teacher liaison? There's kind of a few different avenues it could be. So I love the idea of it, but just a little bit more vetting out of what that looks like would be helpful.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's been said here, which is I think having been participated as being a part of the committee and in the creation of the recommendations, although not there the meeting that they were made. I understand, I think, a lot of where they're coming from, but I think as a board member, I have a lot of questions. So I think I'd like to make a motion to table the vote to accept these recommendations. My concern being the last time we just approved recommendations to the DI committee pretty like with very little discussion, very kind of like, and then there was, I think the committee was frustrated because a lot of the recommendations didn't actually come to fruition. I don't want that to happen again if we can possibly avoid it. So I think we need to have all these questions answered. I know they don't meet again until September. So I would say, can we table this motion till at least after the next DEI committee meeting? So Jillian and I can go back with the questions and maybe get some more specific information about what they mean. For example, I think I know where the development of the creation of a system to share concerns. I think I know where that came from, but I think they need to be really clear about not participating in that system. And just, I want some more clarity because I think they're trying to make recommendations, but I would like some more. So anyway, I make a motion to table this until this after September 15th.
A second.
Got second. We have to call the vote because is there any discussion on the motion to table?
I agree with it.
Are we ready? Mr. Kelleher,
Yes.
Ms. Leong,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Turpinian,
Yes.
Ms. Trapani Huff.
Yes.
That motion has been tabled until after the next meeting of the DEI committee, which. Moving to agenda item
I don't mean to interrupt. Can you turn your mic back on?
Oh, sorry, Jenna, thank you. I was mumbling to myself, so that was actually very helpful. 12.0 the agenda is new business. 12.1 are appointments, and I'll turn this over to Dr. Nato.
Great, thank you. I've had a great opportunity to be meeting with finalists for positions in my first 2 weeks here in this role, so that's exciting. And again, just continue to be so appreciative of the level of skill and talent that we're able to attract here in Scarborough. So 12.1.1 is a speech pathologist. Vivian Curran has been selected to fill this newly created position. Ms. Curran received her Bachelor of Art degree in Speech and Communications from McAllister College and her Master's of Science degree in Communication Disorders from Nova Southeastern University. She has worked as a speech language pathologist since 2019 at Woodside Elementary School in Topsom and most recently at Sakarapa Elementary School in Westbrook. So the recommendation is to appoint Vivian Curran as a speech pathologist.
I should have said this before you started, but I would like to bundle the appointments if possible.
Okay, sure. Absolutely. I will move on. The second one is a high school special education academic life skills teacher. Mark Simard has been selected to fill this position created by resignation. Mr. Simard received his Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology and his Master of Science degree in special education from the University of Southern Maine. He is currently working towards his Master of Science degree in educational leadership from USM. He has been a special education teacher with Bonnie Eagle High School since 2020. He was the lead teacher there in their functional life skills self-contained program, and he was also a staff member on their unified basketball team. And so the recommendation is to appoint Mark Simard as high school special education teacher. Next is a third grade classroom teacher at Wentworth School. Marissa Hutchins has been selected to fill this position created by a realignment. Ms. Hutchins received her Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education from the University of Maine at Farmington. She has been an elementary school teacher since 2017, working at Martell Elementary School in Lewiston, Walton Elementary School in Auburn, and most recently at Falmouth Elementary School. In Auburn, she was on the Math Leadership Committee and also the PBIS Committee. And so the recommendation is to appoint her as third grade classroom teacher. There is also a nomination for a fifth grade classroom teacher at Wentworth. Catherine Nowak has been selected to fill this newly created position. Ms. Nowak received her Bachelor of Arts degree in anthropology and minored in African Studies while at Colby College. She received her Master of Science in Childhood General Education from Bank Street College of Education in New York City. She has worked as a classroom teacher in New York and also in Cumberland Fourside. She has also been a self-employed math tutor and owner of Breakaway Bread in Portland. She has coached middle school and high school sports locally, and she has worked and been involved with the NEASC Accreditation Committee. And so the recommendation is to appoint Catherine Nowak as the Wentworth grade 5 classroom teacher. Couple more here. Moving on to Pleasant Hill School. This is an early intervention teacher. Sarah Chadbourne has been selected to fill this newly created position. Ms. Chadbourne received her Bachelor's of Science degree in elementary education with a math focus from the University of Maine and her Master of Science degree in curriculum and instruction with a literacy focus from Lesley University. She has been a classroom teacher in Southern Maine since 2015. Teaching at the Hanson and Lebanon Elementary Schools and also at Mildred L. Day School. And while at Mildred L. Day School, she was a literacy learning lab teacher. So the recommendation is to appoint Sarah Chadbourne as the Pleasant Hill Early Intervention Teacher. Moving on to Blue Point School. This is a recommendation for special education social life skills teacher. Desiree Bracamonte has been selected to fill this position due to a resignation. Ms. Bracamonte received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Liberal Studies with a minor in education and her Master of Science degree in Special Education, both from the University of Southern Maine. She has worked as a nanny and at Sweeser. And most recently, this past year, she was a paraprofessional in special education at Wentworth School. And so the recommendation is to appoint Desiree Bracamonte as the Blue Point School SLS teacher. And finally, the last appointment, this is a stipend position for the Scarborough Middle School Athletic Coordinator. Michael O'Coin is being recommended for that role. And he is also a full-time employee at Scarborough Middle School.
So thank you. Are there any discussion points or comments on the appointments? Just want to say, as usual, we're getting extremely well-qualified, experienced teachers in our district, which is great.
Mhm.
I particularly like how we're stacking our unified team. I approve of that. And whenever we can promote from within and bring someone in as an ed tech and then make them a teacher, that is a huge success story for our district. So
Absolutely.
great work all around. With that, do I have a motion to approve the appointments?
So moved.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
I will. I appreciate you bundling it all together. Mr. Kelleher,
Yes.
Ms. Leong,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Tarpinian,
Yes.
Ms. Trapani Huff,
Yes.
All right, that's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 13.0 is adjournment. Do I have a?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Okay. Mr. Kelleher,
Maybe. I mean, yes.
Ms. Leong,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Trapanian,
Yes.
Ms. Trapani Huff.
Yes.
All right, it is 7:37. This meeting of the Board of Ed is adjourned. Thank you all for attending or reviewing it later. Have a great summer.
Thanks.